Securities. Dan, I was so happy when I heard that I get to sit down with you. I love seeing you, whether it's in person or virtually. So let's talk about the tech sector outperformance. We've seen the NASDAQ 100 reach for a record after record recently. We'll dive into everything that's going on with the Mag 7, but I want to know just your big picture take on the strength that we're seeing now in tech.
Yeah, and it's great to be here. I thought you'd be wearing one of your more bullish sports, coat in terms of the pink or the this. And look, the reality is that this is a tech bull market. And it's my view that in terms of the AI revolution, we're only just the beginning, the bottom of the first, top of the second. And now from Nvidia to Microsoft to Palantir, you're going to see a risk-on environment. And I think we could be looking at tech stocks up 15% this year.
So AI clearly still the central theme within tech, but now there seems to be this divide between the leaders and the laggards in this group, especially when we think about the Mag 7. So what is separating, like what's the secret sauce for, say, Nvidia, Microsoft, and Meta versus, say, an Apple or Alphabet?
It's it's AI. I mean, when you look what's really been the overhang on Apple, it's because of AI. Because we were there at WWDC, and we talked about it, that was a yawner, and that's why they're ultimately going to have to either do a Perplexity deal, do something significant because they have the best install base in the world. Compare that to what almost call CEOs right now that are laser focused. Look at Zuckerberg, what they're doing at Meta when it comes to AI. Look at Nadella. You look at the godfather of AI, Jensen, Nvidia, and that's why you're seeing those stocks, because it reflects where they are in terms of the biggest tech boom we've seen in the last 40, 50 years. But the bears and the haters, if you focus just on valuation, you've missed every transformational tech stock the last 20 years, and you'll miss all these, including names like Palantir.
Is it, when you think about AI for like Nvidia, are we at the, kind of beginning or early beginnings of a new level of where it's like not a nice to have, but a need to have when you think about that? Like, for instance, with smartphones, right? Everybody didn't have to have a smartphone, but now you need one now. With AI, is it going to be so much part of the ecosystem that you need to have this, especially in your portfolio? Yeah,
you just nailed it. I think there's one chip fueling the AI revolution, and it's Nvidia. There's no, look, there are, of course, other companies that are producing chips, but that's why globally, that's why there's only one godfather of AI, and his name is Jensen. And I think it comes down to...
Go ahead, sorry.
And it comes down to like the next leg of the Nvidia growth story has just begun.
Okay. Well, it seems to be reflecting that obviously in the share price, and it's a very different perspective than we had back in April when there was so much pressure, and even the deep seek conversation seems to be an afterthought.
With its sales and share price hitting all-time highs in recent quarters, Nvidia is perhaps the most exciting artificial intelligence AI company on the world. Because of this, you might anticipate that this leading AI processor will be expensive. However, Nvidia is currently a great deal. Let's investigate. As the largest seller of graphics processing units, GPUs, the powerful chips that enable AI models to train and then perform their duties of answering queries and resolving issues, you may be familiar with Nvidia. However, Nvidia has expanded its product line beyond processors to include a wide range of services and products, making it nearly essential for every business with AI goals. For instance, Nvidia provides platforms and enterprise software tailored to particular sectors, like healthcare and automotive. As users employ AI and seek to improve AI agent design or require inferencing power, the organization stands to gain as well. In addition to planning for future growth stages, Nvidia is working to advance the creation of humanoid robots and is even investigating the potential intersection of AI and quantum computing. The business recently announced plans to construct a research center for quantum computing in Boston that will combine AI supercomputers and quantum hardware. All of this indicates that Nvidia is in a strong position to profit from a trillion-dollar market and play a significant role in AI and even quantum computing. The $300 billion AI business today might grow to $2 trillion in a few years, according to analysts. Nvidia has proven to be the star of the AI boom, so this should add to an already stellar record. The company has provided quarter after quarter of double or triple-digit sales growth far into the billions of dollars, largely due to the superior performance of its GPUs and related products. With triple-digit revenue rises reaching over $130 billion at the end of the most recent fiscal year, Nvidia's revenue increased 69% to $44 billion in the first fiscal quarter. Nvidia's ability to sustain strong margins even during more expensive periods, such product launches, is especially remarkable. For instance, it maintained a gross margin above 70% during the fourth quarter, while it introduced the new Blackwell architecture and chip. Additionally, despite a $4.5 billion charge in the most recent quarter due to export restrictions on chip exports to China, the gross margin was still around 60%, and expectations in the low 70% range were met when the charge was removed. All of this demonstrates that Nvidia is not only increasing its revenue, but also turning a huge profit on sales. Since innovation is essential to staying ahead of competitors, I really appreciate Nvidia's dedication to it. Since Nvidia already offers the best performing processors in the world and keeps its commitment to improve them year, it should be difficult for rivals to overtake it. Additionally, Nvidia has given investors access to an innovation and launch plan through 2028, giving us a clear picture of what lies ahead. It's evident that Nvidia has what it takes to keep up its dominance in the early stages of the AI boom. Another good thing is that, as was already indicated, the AI market as a whole is expected to grow rapidly and surpass the trillion-dollar level. Even after its 1,500% gain over the previous 5 years, all of these factors lend credence to the notion that Nvidia will soar higher in the long run, and for that reason, Nvidia appears to be such a good deal at its current value. Given everything the firm has done and the potential for future development, the stock is currently trading for 34 times projected earnings forecasts, down from 50 earlier in the year. Given all of this, Nvidia is an obvious choice for any investor hoping to profit from the AI revolution both now and in the future. So what implications does this have for Nvidia's stock? Let's explore that. But first, a big thank you to those of you who've stuck with us this far. Creating these videos takes significant effort and dedication. So if you're enjoying the content, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and share your thoughts on Nvidia stock in the comments. Your support truly helps us grow. Now let's get back to the video.
Our view that the administration is stepping further and further back. There's a de-escalation. We'll have some, scary headlines from some of the deals, but I think you'll have deals on the table, and that's bullish for tech. And I think it's bullish for the AI trade, especially when it comes to the U.S.-China trade deal. I think that's very, very important.
And so I want to go back to the point you made about valuations, because some point out that, especially some in this group are just too expensive, and it doesn't necessarily, the growth trajectory doesn't justify the valuation from some perspectives. What do you say to those critics?
I'd say to many of them, look, they're in their cave, their hibernation caves, because they can't see AI in the spreadsheets. I think it's just, you got to look out 3, 4, 5 years, an autonomous future, robotics, humanoids, enterprise AI, consumer AI. We're just in the beginning. The trillions that are going to be spent, and that's why I just focus on, there is just, it's a fourth industrial revolution that we just happen to be living in. And I think that's going to fuel a tech bull market next 3 years.
All right. Well, we're certainly fueling bull market in tech right now.
With a market valuation of $3.77 trillion, semiconductor behemoth Nvidia has firmly established itself as the most valuable corporation in the world, outperforming its Magnificent Seven rivals Apple and Microsoft. Nvidia's shares actually recovered more than 80% from its April 2025 year-to-date lows, hitting a new record high of $156.71 just today. Nvidia has risen an incredible 15.16% in June alone, well surpassing its monthly average return of 1.31% since 2010. Though it should be mentioned that this type of double-digit return is about comparable for the artificial intelligence, AI, chip leader over the last 5 to 10 years, this is now Nvidia's best June monthly performance since 2021. In the future, Nvidia is not anticipated to release quarterly results until late August, and since 2010, the stock has returned 3.03% on average in July. Nvidia, like the majority of global market leaders, is impacted by a number of important factors outside of seasonal tendencies, but last year's July sell-off of 5.28% was a remarkable departure from previous averages. To stay informed about the latest developments from Nvidia and the ever-changing stock market, consider subscribing to our investing tutorial channel. We provide daily updates on significant market shifts and key catalysts, so hit that subscribe button to ensure you never miss crucial information. We'd love to hear your thoughts on Nvidia stock, so please share your opinions in the comments below. Now, let's dive into today's video.
We finished mixed yesterday, but the S&P 500 kind of continues to flirt with these records. Let's talk about, big picture here. What are you watching in terms of, do the bulls still have control?
We'll still have control, but what you want to see today is a little bit more participation from a sector basis. If you kind of look at yesterday, we did see outperformance when it came to the technology sector as well as communication services. And a lot of that's being brought up by Nvidia as well as some other companies here. But you did not see that widening of the market participation like we have seen in the past. And that's something that does happen from time to time. We are in a seasonal period where it does get a little bit weaker when it comes to volume. But what you do not want to do is really kind of stall out at these levels for too long, and that does kind of lead to a little bit of a loss of momentum here. We do have some economic data still on the calendar for this week that could continue to create maybe a little bit more of an environment for the market to move higher here. But yesterday, once again, a little bit mixed. You do see semiconductors really trying to outperform. Micron's earnings yesterday was actually really good. You did see it fade from its highs overnight, but you are seeing maybe some other semiconductor companies that are actually faring pretty well this morning because of some of the commentary that you are seeing. So maybe a little bit of uncertainty, maybe a little bit of a stalling out here, but one day doesn't make a trend. The bulls still have control until you start losing the 20-day and the 200-day moving average on the S&P 500. That's when you get a little bit concerned. Now, I kind of want to highlight here just for the viewers to understand, if they look at the E-mini S&P futures, those are making all-time highs, but there is a time value component that's within that futures contract. So we're still a little bit short. We're about 40 points away if you're kind of looking at the implied open for the S&P 500. We're about 40 points away from all-time highs for the S&P here. So I think, once again, we'll see how the market actually fares today. We have initial claims coming out. We have PCE tomorrow. A lot that could still kind of give bulls a little bit more momentum trying to go into this weekend, and then hopefully trying to hit all-time highs by 4th of July here.
A new street-high $250 price target was set this week by a bullish note from Loop Capital, highlighting growing confidence in Nvidia's superiority in AI and indicating potential rise to a $6 trillion valuation. Therefore, should investors wait for a decline in the outperforming stock or capitalize on Nvidia's strengths? With revenue rising 69% year-over-year to $44.1 billion, including $35.6 billion from data centers, the chip company's Q1 2025 performance was outstanding. With roughly 100 Nvidia-powered AI factories currently under construction, double the amount from the previous year, Nvidia's technological advantage is still uncontested. The business plan's yearly chip architecture releases, such as Vera Rubin 2026, Blackwell Ultra 2025, and Vera Rubin Ultra 2027, as part of its ambitious innovation pipeline. With the help of their proprietary CUDA software platform, their GPU technology remains the foundation of the majority of AI solutions, resulting in significant vendor lock-in. Nvidia's core business is still strong despite continuous difficulties caused by U.S. export restrictions to China, which may affect the company's second quarter revenue by almost $8 billion. Despite product releases and market hurdles, the company continues to maintain outstanding margins exceeding 70%. Data center expenditures are expected to increase from $455 billion in 2024 to $1.1 trillion by 2029, indicating the enormous potential of the larger AI infrastructure sector. Furthermore, Nvidia's dedication to expanding their AI portfolio is demonstrated by their calculated forays into the robotics and automotive industries, as well as their collaboration with Foxconn on the deployment of humanoid robots. Nvidia's technology advantage and rich software ecosystem offer strong defensive moats, even as rivalry from firms like Advanced Micro Devices and Intel heats up. The market for AI chips is expected to reach $2 trillion by 2028, according to analysts, demonstrating the company's growing supremacy in AI computing technology. When compared to Wall Street's growth forecasts and its own historical premiums, Nvidia's stock, which is currently trading at 37.7 times projected earnings and 18.8 times forward sales, looks to be well valued. But given a breach above its upper Bollinger Band and a 14-day relative strength index, RSI, reading above 74, technical traders will see that Nvidia appears short-term overbought. This implies that the company's recent rally may be a little overdone, and that bulls may soon have a chance to purchase Nvidia stock when it pulls back to technical support. Don't forget to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your input helps create a more knowledgeable community where we can all learn and grow together in the world of investing. Stay up to date with the latest market trends, insights, and key updates by subscribing to Investing Tutorial. We're here to help you make smarter investment decisions and stay ahead of the curve.